Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Y'all, it's coming down outside. Rainy days and Mondays, right? I'm not going to let them get me down. Anytime you've got a problem in your life, get into your sewing room. Stitching makes all things feel better. Absolutely. Hi, Diane. I'm glad you're back. Yeah, Diane down in Australia, she got a new knee, went shopping at the hospital. I have a problem here. I need to get that. There we go. All right. Hope you guys are doing well. Hi, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You are in our Stitchuation room. And this is a virtual stitching retreat where we might tidy, cut. What do you do? You've been watching? Okay. You guys are just all chatting amongst yourselves. We might tidy, we might clean, we might stitch, work on a UFO, whatever it is. Maybe you need to get some cutting done, whatever that is. I am so glad to see you all here this morning. Once again, y'all, my eyes are watering. Thank you, South Texas. That's how that goes. But yeah, I think it kind of let up a little bit, but it's supposed to rain all week. Y'all, it's going to be in the 70s by the end of the week. We are back to normal here in South Texas. Very happy about that. Yes. Awesome. Awesome. We've got a virtual kitchen. It's over on the other side of the room. Wander over there. I think there's eggs and bacon and maybe some pastries over there and certainly coffee and juice. You all, that is just for fun. They are fat and calorie free. All my Texas girls are in the house. Spring Branch up early for car repairs. Okay. You met Mike from Legit Kits at Road to California. Awesome. Isn't he great? Isn't he great? Did you tell him that, told him you heard about him from Power Tools with Thread? It's a lot of fun. Tiny says it's oatmeal weather up there in Kerrville. I better turn my machine on. We're going to do some stitching this morning, you guys. Lady sent me an email. And, oh, there's bagels back there. Y'all save me a plain one, okay? I like plain bagels with, is there any strawberry cream cheese? Okay. Lady emailed me wanting to know about how to create your own background stitching for embroidery projects that come up, because sometimes you can buy a design and maybe you want to put a little background quilting behind the design. So in that case, you're actually working with two designs, not one. You're working with the background quilting design, and then you would add a design and put in, whatever's going to sit on top of that background quilting. So unless you have embroidery, that's how you would do it at the machine. But unless you have embroidery software. Now, if you have embroidery software, you can create that background quilting yourself. And then, add the design on top of that and save it all as one design. So for those of you that are really new to machine embroidery, I just wanted to kind of cover a couple of different ways that you could go about doing this. And you can do it either, pardon me, I got cobwebs still. You can do it either by purchasing a design to download, like from Designs by Juju. Okay, she's got lots of background quilting designs. You could buy it, you could do it in your own machine if you've got one of those fancy machines. And there's a lot of fancy machines that have a lot of different ways that you can do background quilting. So I just wanted to kind of go over some of those. Rachel, I treat invisible thread exactly like I do any other thread. I use Superior's Monopoly, not Monopoly, Monopoly clear thread. Works fantastic. And I make my own bobbins and everything. Nothing. If you're using Superior, you shouldn't have any trouble with that. Clear thread is not clear thread, you guys. Don't grab your SO's stuff that, fishing line. It's not the same. So Awesome. I'm glad everybody's doing well this morning. All righty, y'all. So let's get down to this. I'm going to be moving the camera around. Well, I'll move the camera in a minute. But first, I want to share my screen. Let me pull up Juju's site, and I want to show you where you can find those background quilting designs if you want to get them. All right. Yeah, Rachel, grab the Superior. You can get it on Amazon. Matter of fact, it might be in my Amazon shop, but you can get it on Amazon. And if you have to type in, if you type in Superior Clear Thread, I think it might come up. If you type in Mono Poly, you'll get lots of Parker Brothers games. So you want to put in Superior. You can put in Superior Mono Poly Thread. That'll come up. Just FYI. I need a virtual secretary. Answer all those emails. Nobody wants to hear from my virtual secretary, you guys. They want me to tell them what to do. Y'all, and listen, I hope you guys don't think I'm some kind of expert, because I'm not. I'm an expert by the world of trial and error. So that's all I can tell you guys. So you're new to embroidery. All right. Well, good. I'm glad you're here, okay? Because I just love machine embroidery. It is one of the most forgiving stitching things we can do. To me, embroidery is easier than garment sewing. It's easier than piecing. It's so forgiving. I've always said, unless you pop it out of the hoop, you can recover from whatever it is. And, you know, you don't want your registration to be wrong either. All righty. So let's see. So I want to show you how you can get your background quilting designs from Designs by Juju. Just for an example, there are a lot of places that have them, but I didn't research all of those last night. I just looked at Julie's site from Designs by Juju. Okay, here we go. And can you see what I see? Let me double check. Yes, you're seeing that. Perfect. All right. All you need to do up here and if you're new to machine embroidery, Designs by Juju has fantastic designs. They stitch out so well. And I've been making videos for her for a long time on her projects. So I just feel like that's something I could share with you guys, because I don't have a bad stitch out. She's so meticulous about this. So up here in the search box, just type quilt block. All you need to do, quilt block, and that's it. We're going to hit enter, and up they come. Okay, I'm going to go down to where it says show 12, and I'm going to show 48. Let that refresh. Okay, here we go. So there you are. You've got seashells. There's flowers. Okay, you've got all kinds of background quilting, and when you click on any one of these, you're going to get more than one design. So the seashells, there's your neat little seahorse. How cool is that? Okay. So you're going to get more than one design. So that's, whoop, I didn't mean to do that. Let's see here. Let me go back. We're going to type quilt block. There. Okay. And then as you go on down here, so some of them have like pictures. Well, you may not want that. You might just want an all over kind of an ambiguous design. There it is right there. So there's your traditional quilt blocks. Let me click that. And on this one, look, you're going to get 6 designs of how to make these. Now, I want you to see on these, let me come down here. 6 designs, but they come in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9-inch blocks. Okay. And then they link to the next set. So you're getting 6 designs, and you're getting all these different sizes, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9-inch blocks. That's amazing. If you ever are going to resize these, you want to stay within like 1/2 inch. Okay. That's kind of the standard there, to just stay within half an inch of whatever you did, because you guys, resizing an embroidery design is not the same as resizing an image. Okay. When you resize an image, the computer will make, all it does is stretch the pixels, unless it's a vector graphic. That's why they go funny on you, if it's not a vector graphic. But when you stretch an embroidery design or make it smaller, the software has to create stitches. Totally different technology. So yeah, Free Spirit, they are a lot of versatile options. So that's one of the things. Let me see. Somebody had a comment I wanted to see. You drank the Kool-Aid and have gone down the Kimberbell and Designs by Juju hole. Yes, so many projects. I know. It's terrible. It's crazy, crazy. Okay, so that's one way you can do background quilting. So if you have like a 6-inch block, then I would get, hello, Frito. Y'all, my baby's here. There she is. You gonna hide? Good morning, baby girl. Hello. That's a good girl. Yes, mama loves you. Y'all, I have to pet her or she'll get her feelings hurt. Okay. See her little mask? She's Frito the Bandito. Good girl. So you would want to go with the size that is just a little bit bigger than what your required trim size is for your block. Okay. So if you, everybody loves Frito. If you have, let's say your block needs to be trimmed to 5, then I would get the 6-inch block and trim it down to 5, or if it's got to be trimmed to 5.5, get the 6-inch block, because you want those stitches where they stop. You want them to be seen in the seam allowance, or to be hidden in the seam allowance. I'm sorry. Okay. She is early. Well, Phil, it's because we're letting them sleep with us in the house because it's getting it's been so cold. So that's one way you can create your own background quilting. You can buy a separate design. And so if you don't have embroidery software, you buy that set, you get the size that you need, you put it on a USB and you bring it over to your embroidery machine. Okay. And then you load that design into your embroidery machine, and then you do an add and you add your next design into it on the same spot, get it all centered, make sure everything's happy, and then stitch it out. Okay, so that is one way to do that. All righty. Now, let's see. So let's talk about creating a design at the machine. So I have a Brother Luminaire here. If you've got a Luminaire, Stellaire, Solaris, the PRs, which is my multi-needle, any of y'all that have got either Design Center in a Brother machine or IQ Design in a Baby Lock, okay, there are background quilting designs already programmed into your machine. If you don't have one of those big fancy machines, that's when you would have to purchase something and download it and bring it over, okay? All right. Let me check and make sure I'm not missing any kind of questions or anything. You guys are just chit-chatting away. That's what I love. All righty. Did I already show my shirt to everybody? Oh, Mudcat. No, I didn't. It says, sorry, can't. Quilting. Bye. That's another one from Bee Inspired Quilts. I've got a link to them below. That is Bernadette wants to know. That is the Sheila, the lady who's a stitcher. And she's got an Etsy shop. Can I use clear blue tiles with any background quilting designs? Yes, Bernie, that is exactly what those are designed for. So you can use Kimberbell's clear blue tiles. I have used them on so many projects to background quilt something. And then, you know, it's really nice that they have got the various sizes. So you can really kind of piece those together like a puzzle and make them the right size for whatever your project is. Laura, you ordered shirts last night. That's great. And I want to thank you for that. Sheila emailed me. She said, I got some orders. You're awesome. You know, I love helping each other out. I think that's wonderful. So, okay. So the clear blue tiles, that's exactly what they're for. Don't think that they're just for Kimberbell projects. Okay. because they're for just about anything. I background quilted a Lori Holt pillow. You know, she had a panel, had front and back on the panel, and I cut them up and stitched them out. Your PR 650 doesn't have Design Center? Yeah, Karen, some of them don't. Some of them don't. But if it does, then look in there. There might be some background quilting designs. So, alrighty. It's Bee Inspired Tees. Yeah. That's who makes the shirts. Do the designs work with edge to edge? So Carol, that's a different, okay, in short, yes. All right. If you have an edge to edge quilting design that will cover whatever your space is, then use that. That's another thing you can do. Okay. Carol wants to know if you can use metal snaps on the luggage tag instead of Chicago screws. You can, Carol, just think about, will it handle a baggage handler throwing it, right? Is it going to make it? The baggage handler is the big one. Yeah. Does the Brother 1600 have background quilting? I don't think that it does. Usually the ones with the big computers in the head, those are the ones that have background quilting. Okay. All right, y'all. So let's take a look at the machine. I'm going to move my camera out of the way and around so you guys can take a look at the background quilting designs. These are in the Luminaire. If you have a Luminaire and you haven't poked around, but there's limitations on those. And so we're going to talk about that too, okay? Because there's all kinds of stuff here. Let me get this just right. And my remote, I need to zoom you guys in so you can see what I'm doing here. There we go. That's pretty good. How's that? Like my little chicken back there? Okay. So you can go into embroidery, okay? And in your main designs, this is the one with the big butterfly. Let me back up. They've made a big deal out of adding background quilting into the XP3 upgrade for Brother. And that's over here in the quilting designs. We've got frames and designs. So these are all your frames. Tab 4 is your background quilting. And then you have lots and lots of choices of background quilting designs. The problem with these is that when you go to touch one, here's a Q1 with a sewing machine. Okay, you can do that. Now it's for a border. It's for it's for continuous background quilting, but now you've got to go through and set your sizes. Well, my block is only, let's say 4.5. So if I tell it 4.5 is what I want that to be and hit set, it knocks at me and it's not going to work. Okay, now I need to sit down, get my manual, figure out what this is and how it works. Okay, I know some of you very smart people know how to do that. I don't, and I haven't fiddled with it. So there's a whole nother morning that I have to sit here and poke around and doink with this to try to figure it out. That's not what I want to do. I want a background quilt. Okay, so the option is there. I'm going to hit return. I'm done. I don't want to fiddle with that. Let me hit return. You come in here on your butterfly, your main designs page, and scroll all the way over. There's a sewing machine over here. Beautiful sewing machine. There's a background quilting block. Look at that. That's nice. Now, I don't know how many times it stitches. Is it a single stitch, a triple stitch? Okay. But I'm going to hit set. That looks great. Now I want my block to be 4.5. I'm going to go edit and size. And I'm going to try to bring this down to 4.5. It knocks at me at 8.83. I can't go any farther. So this has its own set of limitations as well. This is good, but it's too big. See? Because again, when you're resizing stitches, when you're resizing a design, you're creating or taking away stitches, and the computer has to recalculate all that. And if it hasn't been programmed to do it, so the software that's in here is not as it's not as smart as like in Brilliance or PE Design or something like that. So this won't work for me either. So you see, there are different limitations with different things in these machines. So I'm going to tell it okay. And I'm going to just go back to home because that's not going to work for me. I need a 4.5-inch square. All right. So let me show you. Oh, hold on. I did. Whoops. I did put in. Let me see. I got to get my USB in. All right. So now let's go into embroidery. And I'm going to go to the pocket for memory. And it's on my USB. And let me find it. There is a floral background quilting design from Designs by Juju. Okay. So I'm going to tell it set. And I don't know what size this is. Let me edit and go to size. And what is it? It's 4.85 by 4.85. So if I needed to trim my block to 4.5, this would be perfect. See? Now, the thing you got to watch with Designs by Juju quilting designs, some of them are single run and some of them are triple run. On all of those designs that you get from DBJJ, they're single or triple run. Me personally, when I'm doing background quilting, I don't want it to stand out. I want it to sit in the background and be elegant and demure. And so I just want a single run. All right. And that's it. And I could tell it, okay. I might could get it a little bit bigger. Not much, just barely, because it'll start skipping stitches. You don't want that to happen. So 5.04. I can get it a little bit bigger that way. So that will work. So when you have your design set up like that, well, now I want to bring in something else. That is where you hit down in the bottom. There's a button that says add. So this is one design. I'm going to hit add. Now this has stayed up here. I'm going to add a design to it. I'm going to hit the memory and let me hit USB. And I'm going to go to find an embroidery file. I'll do a little heart until it's set. There. Now I've got a heart sitting on top of my embroidery design. And how you know you have two designs, I've got two pictures right up here. My background quilting is first and then my heart. And I can use the select button and jump between them if I want to edit them at all on the screen. Let me zoom in so y'all can see this. See how the little red borders are all around the heart? If I touch this arrow down here, now the little red dots are around the background quilting. So I'm jumping back and forth. Let's see. How can you tell if it's a single or triple run? Karen, the title of the design in Designs by Juju, it'll have the title and it'll say single or it'll say triple. So she'll let you know. You can tell by the title. On the Luminaire, hit the zigzag looking button and make it larger. That will add stitches and allow you to go even bigger. Okay, Gloria, thank you. Okay. All right, y'all. So that is another way that you can do that. So you can buy purchase designs and then you can add in another design on top of that. All right. So let me clear this. All right. Back out a little bit. Is this good stuff? How can it? Oh, I already saw that. Okay, good. Now, y'all, when these big fancy machines have Design Center, okay, you spend a load of money on these machines. Okay, maybe you want to create your own background quilting. Design Center is also loaded, and this applies to IQ Design and Baby Lock machines as well. Okay, you've had a problem with the stitches unraveling before you can sew the seams. Pat. Okay. What about using Design Center? All right, we're getting there. We're getting there, Kim. What about making them with Design Center? That's what we're going to do now. Okay. So when you're going to play with Design Center, and there are a lot of designs that are already in the machine in Design Center for you to be able to quilt background quilting. I want to be really clear about something. The background quilting designs in Design Center are not end-to-end designs. They're two different animals. You might consider background quilting like a single run of a clear blue tile if you have those. The little lines on the end of those background quilting designs in Design Center are not digitized to line up with their buddy if you put another one right next to it. It just will never, never, never work. I know, I've tried. I've spent hours sitting at this machine, poking around, trying to get them to work. They are not, all of them, I haven't been through all of them. For the most part, they're not fully enclosed designs like clear blue tiles where you can nestle them real close to one another and you wouldn't be able to tell that where one stops and another one starts. Okay. Let me see here. I want to take a look at these comments and see. Oh, Sue's got a question about the juju stuff. Let me show you. I will show you, Sue. Let me put this back on me. Sorry, I'm spinning y'all around. I apologize. Let me go slow. So when you download, she's unclear how to see whether it's a triple stitch or a single stitch. Okay. On Juju's site, does it say on here? It's in the title, you guys. Yeah. And I'd have to log in and download. Sue, when you download the design and you unzip the file, it'll say floral 1 single 4x6 or 4x4. Okay. Or it'll say floral run triple 4x4. That's how you know whether it's a single run or a triple run. Okay. I hope that clears that up. Patricia's right. So Design Center fills are not a single run except for stipple. She's absolutely correct. Stipple is the only design that is a single run in Design Center. And we'll get to that. And I'll show you how you can overcome that. Okay. To a point. To a point. So let me spin this around again. Now I want to create my own background quilting in this fancy machine that I could have bought a used car, but instead I got an embroidery machine because that's how we roll, right? It's what we do. Okay, I'm going to go into my Design Center. Again, this applies to IQ design as well. Let me get you a little closer. I want you to be able to see as much of many of the buttons as possible, you guys. Okay. There's a certain order you have to go in order to create your own background quilting in Design Center. First of all, I mean, it'd be fun to just go in here and pick the design, but that's not going to work. Okay. The first thing you need to do is you need to tell the software what shape the design is going to be to start with. And to do that, you go to this little, there's a, let me get my pointer from my SCANNCUT so you guys aren't looking at my fat finger here. Okay. On the Design Center screen up here, it's very, very faint, but there's little gray background groupings. Okay. So this is a straight line grouping. This is a background fill grouping. And then this is the eraser and this is the shape button. And you'll notice that the size and the rotate are grayed out. All right. So I want to go to the shape first. So I guess you have to look at my big fat finger. I could use the stylus, I reckon. So the first thing I want to do, what shape is my background quilting going to be? 99 times out of 100, you're going to take your square. Okay. And you're going to tell it, okay. Now I've told the software what shape I want. Now the size and rotate buttons have come alive. What size do you want? So you're going to tell it the shape first, then you're going to tell it the size. I'm going to go into size. And on one of the last updates, they did something very nice. I asked Amy Bachman from Amy Sews. I said, next time you talk to those brother engineers, please tell them to put a keypad in there so I can just put my size in versus going up and down on those little arrows. So I'm going to touch my keypad. It defaults to 6.19. I'm going to touch it. And my trim shape, my trim size is 5. My finish size is 4.5. So I'm just going to put in 5.0 and hit set. And it put it right up here vertical. And then here's my horizontal. It's at 6.19. I'm going to go 5.0 and hit set. Now I have changed the shape of the background fill to 5.5. So it's like a canvas. You have to give the computer a canvas to tell it what size the design is going to be from the start. I'm going to tell it, okay. Now I can pick a design to put into that blank canvas. So again, this is a line fill and this is a line digitizing. This is a fill digitizing. Okay. So I'm going to touch the designs. This is where she was talking about the stipple. Okay. So you've got straight line quilting, a stipple, and then you've got a button here for background quilting. I'm going to touch the background quilting and you get a picture and I'm going to hit select. I don't care one iota about those colors. Just ignore those completely. Okay. So let's choose a background quilting design. Here's a nice chicken wire. That's cool. Maybe I want to put a chicken on there, right? Okay. That'd be kind of cool. Tell it okay. And tell it okay. You need to get the design you just picked into your background. All right. Because you notice it didn't fill on its own. Now I'm going to hit my paint bucket and I'm going to dump the design into the shape and touch it. And there it is. Okay. Candace, thank you, sweetheart. You don't have to do that, Candace. You did that yesterday. Thank you. Candace gave me a super sticker. Okay. So I want you to take a look at this now. We've got a really cool little chicken wire design with all these little pokey edges out to the side. You cannot align those up. If you do a whole bunch of them at the same time, they're never going to match. So don't try to do it because you're going to make yourself crazy. Okay. Oh, I changed your world again, Candace. Well, good. Glad to do it. All right. So I'm done choosing the background quilting. I'm all finished. I need this to turn into an embroidery design because remember, we're in Design Center. We're just creating stitches from nothing right now. It's not yet an embroidery design. We're still in the digitizing phase. Okay. So I'm just going to hit next. And it says, give me a second. I'm fiddling with it. All right. So it's spinning. Now look what it did. It put the background quilting and it gave you a nice thick border all the way around the outside of that. Nice thick border. Thank you so much. That's not what I wanted, but okay. It's what I get. That's how that rolls. Down here at the bottom, you've got 4 little loops that don't have anything. That's a thick run. So I'm going to touch that. 4 little circles. You got a triple run or a double run. You're going to get a double run, not a single. It's not that big of a deal that it's a double run. I'm going to hit double so it's light and tell it okay. So that's lightened up. The picture looks a little bit better. It doesn't have that big pink background anymore. Also, now remember up here, so this is where you can change, like we're at 100%. If I touch that, I can make them smaller. Okay, you can make them down to 70 or until it knocks, or we're going to go back up to 100 to default. You can change these. I recommend you go in and stitch these out on stabilizer and just kind of play with them and figure it out. I still don't like that big honking black line around because that's a 4-minute stitch out. Just the line is a 4-minute stitch out. I don't want that. I'm going to tell this okay. Up here at the top, you've got the red box with the background quilting design in there. So your arrows, your right and left arrows are active. Really? Okay. So that means there are choices that you can make. Let me touch this other arrow and cycle over. Oh, look at that. There's the outline stitching. Okay. I'm going to touch the outline stitching. Now, instead of it being a thick zigzag stitch, I'm going to go down to, again, you can do a double or a triple run and tell it okay. Now watch what happens to that big black line. It goes down to a little bitty light line. It's only going to stitch around 2 times. Almost like it's doing a tack down on applique, essentially. And then you can just tell it set. It has converted to the embroidery pattern, and now Design Center will be exited. Okay to continue to the embroidery edit screen. I'm going to tell it okay. And there you go. Now we have 2 stitches. I've got the background quilting design, and it's a 1-minute stitch. And I've got the outside stitch line, and that's a 1-minute stitch. Okay. Now I want to add, and I'm going to go to my pocket for memory, and I'm going to dig around and find a heart. No, not that one. I'm going to go to my USB and my design files and PES, and I'm going to get my little heart again, and I'm going to tell it set. And there we go. And now I'm ready to jump into embroidery, and you can't see the embroidery button because my name is over it, but right here I'm going to touch embroidery. So see, I can jump back and forth between these again. See the red dots around the heart? That's playing with the applique design. And now the handles are around the outside of the background stitching. I'm going to tell it embroidery. And we are ready to go. Okay. So that's how you can do background quilting in the Design Center or IQ design for either brother or baby lock. Okay. Now, if you don't want that thing to stitch around twice, y'all just stop the machine after it does the first stitch around. That's pretty easy. I hope that was helpful. Does that make sense? Now, stitch artists, yeah, what we're talking about, we'll do, yes, some simple background quilting. It sure will. Wendy, I use Stitch Artist too to create applique designs out of vector files. Oh, let me tell you something, Wendy. And Brilliance is a heck of a lot cheaper than a Luminaire. Heck of a lot cheaper. Yeah. So that's the thing too, what she just brought up. If you can't, if one of these big fancy machines is not in your budget, that's where you would invest in some embroidery software, and you would do all of that at your computer and create the design and put it on a USB and bring it to your embroidery machine and get stitching. Okay. There's always another way. There's always another way. How can you stitch around an applique and not do all over quilting? Linda, you do the all over quilting first. That's design number 1. And then your applique is design number 2. Okay. Yes, Paula's right. You also can turn that outside stitching. That's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. Paula, she says you also can turn that outside stitching into a no-sew line. It's got the little stitch with the, you just touch it and it has a line through it. Don't stitch there. Don't stitch that line. Paula, a lot of people like to have that line there because they're going to trim the block using a trimmer by George. So they might want to do that. But yes, you can also do that. You're using your by George ruler. I would have to stay at the trim size, not larger, correct? Yeah, Betsy, if your background stitching is coming so no. If you're going to use your trimmer by George, you do want to make your background quilting, a millimeter larger than the final trim size so that you can get your trimmer by George up to the edge and get rid of the, you don't want because your background quilting will stitch the whole sandwich together, right? So I would make it, if your background quilting design, if your trim size is like 6.5, then I would make the block size 6.51. Okay. So that will work. And then you can use your trimmer by George and you would use that outside stitch line. Okay. That would work. So Yeah, the Designs by Juju stuff is so inexpensive, you guys. And you get, so like I was showing you on those background quilting designs, you can get, you're welcome, Betsy, absolutely. You could get, you know, 6 or 8 or however many designs for the $8 in, and it's not just, so you get in that, you get 6 complete designs and all the different sizes of all 6 of those designs. So you're getting loads and loads of background quilting designs that you can use over and over on so many different projects. Okay. So that's really a nice, and she does it in a single stitch, which I really like. Now in Design Center, so let's go ahead and do a background quilting in Design Center using Stipple. Okay. Let's do that. And I'll show you. You're a newbie from Utah. Absolutely, Valentina, you can do the, and you be sure you, when you buy that, you tell them you heard about it from Power Tools with Thread. Yes, you can do applique. You can do applique on all brother machines, all embroidery machines. You can do applique. Absolutely. All right, let's get in here and take a peek at the stipple. I'm going to hit home and go back. All right. So let's do it again in Design Center. I'm going to go to my Design Center. Now, don't forget, first things first, we have to tell it what shape we want the design to be. Our size and rotate or grayed out, but we need to create the blank canvas first. We can't paint on nothing. Right now we have nothing. We have to create a canvas. I'm going to tell it shape. I want it to be the square shape. I'm going to tell it okay. Now I need to resize it. I got to tell it what's, because once you put a design in there, you can't resize your canvas. Okay. This is 6.19. Let's say again, okay, we're going to make a 4.5-inch block. I want to use my trimmer by George. So I'm going to go to my keypad and I'm going to tell it 4.51 set and 4.51 and set. That's getting me real close. Okay. That's fantastic. I'm going to tell it okay. Now I'm going to tell it, okay, now we have the canvas. Now we've resized the canvas. I'm going to hit my design. And here's my stipple button right here. I'm going to tell it okay. And I'm going to take my paint bucket and I'm going to dump it into my canvas. There we go. Isn't that cool? There is a way using this method right here. If your design already has applique on it and you want to stitch around that, I've got videos on how to do that using this machine. So now I've got my stipple. I'm going to tell it next. Here is where you can go in. There's my big old honking black line around that again I don't want. But here is where you can go in now and change the size. That's your run pitch. I don't know what that is. I don't want to fiddle with it. 2.0, there we go. My spacing. I want it to be bigger. That's too dense. And tell it okay. There we go. Now it's big and loopy. Okay. I don't care. We're just playing. I'm going to tell it set. Oh, let's go. I've got to fiddle with the black line. I got to go in here. I'm going to touch my arrow to jump over to the outside line and touch that. Go to my double. Tell it okay. There we go. So now there's my, and it looks on the screen like they're a millimeter apart or so. Those lines, the red and black line, they're not. I'll get you in real close so you can see it. See, it looks like it's got 2 lines and they're apart. They're not. Run pitch is the length of the stitches. Thank you, Linda. So it looks like they're right next to each other. They're actually sitting on top of each other when they stitch out. I'm going to tell it set. Now it's going to jump out of Design Center and go into embroidery. And I will show you, just like she was showing, you can go into edit and you can see the handles around the outside of the design. Okay, see, if I touch my arrows, let me go down here to select and show you guys. Okay, if I touch my arrow, back out. So you see a little bit better. Okay, if I touch my arrows, Whoop. Not going to let me do it. If I do a do not stitch. Huh. That's not the one I wanted. Let me go back. Let me go to this one. Tell it okay. It's not letting me jump around. That's crazy. Go into embroidery. Layout. Nope. I hit a button out of order somewhere. Anyway, so now this is the first pass. Okay, whoop, you guys can't see that. So here you can see the first pass is going to be the background quilting. Go into needle plus minus. And you can just skip that stitch. You don't have, you can just stop the machine if you don't want it. But if you're using a trimmer by George, you want that to stitch. So you've got something to push that edge up against on the ruler. Okay. That's how you do that. Well, the stipple design, can't you just line them up edge to edge? Yeah, you can. Absolutely. I've done that a bunch. You can. You got to nestle them up to each other. Essentially, you're creating like a clear blue tiles effect is what you're doing. Yeah. So let's see. That's a good question, Mary. Yeah. You can't now see that stipple design is fully enclosed for the most part. That will look like a fully enclosed design. So you do get the clear blue tiles effect of the stipple. You just do not get that on those other. Some of them look enclosed. Some of them are not. So you kind of have to watch. Okay. Make sure. Let's see. Yeah, you guys are just all over that Designs by Juju stuff. That's great. Michelle, it's designsbyjuju.com. Designsbyjuju.com. Just type it in, Designs by Juju. It'll pop right up. And then remember, the search term is quilt blocks. She's got some Mendy designs as well that are more geometric in shape, and also Sashiko designs. But those are good if that's the look you're going for. Those Mendy designs will sometimes be a double and a triple stitch. You kind of got to watch. But where the blocks that say quilt blocks, you can get a single or a triple run, okay, on those. Do I have brothers on video pie design? No. What you got? Marion, there's a way to quilt a design around the applique, but I don't know how to use it. Right. So I have videos on that, on using Design Center. Essentially what you do is you have to put your applique piece in your camera, scan it with the camera, create the stipple like I just showed you, and then there's an eraser. And you can take your little thingy, stylus thingy, and you can erase. You touch the eraser and you can erase where your applique is on the screen. You can see it, and then you digitize it, and that works. I've got videos on how to do that. I think both of them are titled Stitch Around Applique. I was doing a book tour for Pat Sloan, and she asked me to make some of her projects out of her new book. And so I did that. And then I showed how to applique around them after the fact, how to stitch around them with background quilting after the fact. So I've got more comments. Oh, they slipped right by me, you guys. Yep. Okay. Oh my goodness. Choose the black color and then the no sew button. Oh yeah. El Faber. I know. You know, see, that's the thing too. So my shirt says, it says, sorry, can't quilting. Bye. I got that from Be Inspired Tees on Etsy. I've got a link right below, 15% off coupon if you use the link PTWT15. Okay. So that's cool too. Yeah, you guys, if y'all have brother machines, look for those baby lock videos too. There are a lot of baby lock dealers that will take you through step by step. Y'all, if you have a brother machine, the designs are different, but the steps are the same. The buttons are the same. because the Luminaire and the Solaris are cousins, okay? So to get to that process, the process is the same. The designs will be different depending on the brand of the machine, okay? So, I don't know what you're asking. Oh, yes, you're not talking to me. Okay. You can use Stitch Artist 1 to put a hole around applique. You certainly can. Yeah, you just want it to get right up to the edge, you know. If possible, you always want to do your background quilting first, but sometimes that doesn't work out right like that, right? Yeah, you have the Altair and it's the same process. That's right. Yeah. Any of the Brother or Baby Lock machines that have camera systems in them, because they've got to be able to scan in that background quilting. Okay. Or they have to be able to scan in the fabric to get the design. Okay. So you're off to work. Have a great day, Wendy. Glad you joined us this morning. Thank you so much. But sit down on your machines, poke around on it, fiddle with it. You know, just don't be afraid of it. Just go in there and poke around and see how it's going to work. The hard part to me is when I get it right and I don't remember what I did because I've done it 40 times in the last hour and a half and I don't remember the order. So you can use there you go. You can use a stamp key to quilt around applique designs. You certainly can. Yeah. They've got a stamp key. You can do that too. That's the one that looks like a little outline of a flower. Yeah, you certainly can. You only have a tablet. Oh, Gail, great question. Is there any software that like Stitch Artist that works on a tablet? No, ma'am. So embroidery software, to my knowledge, I'm not a dealer. I'm nobody in the industry, you guys. A tablet is actually a mobile device, okay? Whether it's got 5G on it or not, or you're just using Wi-Fi, your tablet and your phone are mobile devices. They don't have the processing power of a desktop or a laptop. So if you want to use, in Brilliant's question, what is the part of the Embrilliance where you can see your designs? I don't understand your question, Patty. Oh, I know what you're talking about. That's Thumbnailer. You're talking about seeing your designs as picture on your computer. That's Thumbnailer. That's not, it's made by Embrilliance, but it's a separate utility. It's not digitizing software at all. So, but as far as I know right now, the closest anybody has come to any kind of design stuff on a tablet would be the Artspira app from Brother. But as far as embroidery software, I do not know of any embroidery software that functions on a mobile device, a tablet or a phone. You have to have a laptop or a desktop, as far as I know. Okay. There. All right. How do you sandwich it in the hoop background quilting? Stabilizer, batting, top fabric, or bottom fabric? So I've got, I'll put my little thing over here, just in case you guys ask the question. I've got a quilt sandwich right here. Okay. There's my top fabric. There's my batting and my bottom fabric. Okay. Let me move all this out of the way. Where are we at? We got about 5 minutes left. Whoop. Let's see. I don't want to use that one. That one's hard. I'll use this one. I got a dime 6x10 hoop right here. Whoop. I didn't mean to throw that so far. So I'm just going to put all this on here. I guess right like that. And then I'm going to take my corrugated plastic and put it about halfway on. And then take my top part and stand it up next to the handle. Make sure my edges are fairly even, top and bottom on the L. Drop it tightly against that. Okay, and then pull my plastic out. I've got a nice hooping. Okay, ta-da! Isn't that nice? That turned out great. Perfect. Okay. This is Darla. Have y'all met Darla? She's a sweetheart. Oh, I've got a bobbin thread in there. I need to change my thread. I got that beautiful pink rose glide thread that I pulled out of the perfectly pieced box from last night that I showed you guys on the live. Pull my thread through. Okay. And okay. So let's do this again a little bit. Sue, I join in the hoop squares just by sewing them together with I use a 1/2 inch seam. Usually the pattern says 1/4, but I like the 1/2 inch seam allowance because it is easier to iron open. I got thread on here that doesn't belong here. I'm going to go to my design center and I need to create a shape. So let me get my canvas. I'm going to get a square canvas. I'm going to tell it okay. I need to tell it what size I want my canvas to be. This is a 6 by 10. I'll choose a 5 inch canvas. The block size is to trim is 5. So I'm going to tell it 5.01 because I want to use my trimmer by George. Set 5.01 set. Perfect. Tell it okay. Get my paint. Oh, I got to choose a design. I'm going to go into my designs, select. Let's do a crosshatch because I'm going to make a pot holder. Yeah. Okay. Tell it okay. Okay. Take my paint bucket and dump it in my background quilting. That looks good. And next. That's a triple stitch right there. I'm going to tell it no, I want not so thick. Okay. And then I'm going to come up here and I want to get my line a lot thinner right there. Tell it okay. Perfect. Tell it set. And we're good to go. Right. Now I want to just I'm going to add my little heart. Memory pocket. USB. I'm zipping through it, you guys. This is how I do it. PES. My heart. Right there. Tell it set. Embroidery. We're ready. All right. I'm ready to go. See how quick that was? Once you just play with this a little bit. If you don't want your you don't want the knot on the back, hold on to your thread. Go to needle plus minus, touch +1, and then needle down, needle up, pull up your bobbin thread, grab a hold of it. Did I get it? I don't have glasses, you guys. I can't see. Because you might have, there it is. You might have the same thread on the back, so it looks pretty on the back too, right? Hold your tails, let it knot itself off and get to going. Okay, so it made the knot. And I'm just going to trim my tails a little bit. Okay, let it do its thing. Okay. And it's going to run the background quilting. I'll clean that other tail up later. So see how it's running a double run on that? You can't see it. That's what I'm after. I'm making a pot holder. Okay. What is a measuring tape? Y'all, the only thing I use this measuring tape for on these hoops is to find center, if I need it. Usually I don't. It's turning out beautiful. So let me stop this. Okay, here's the front. Whoop, and back out so you guys can see it. There's my front. See how that's nice, pretty background quilting. That's not real obvious, right? And here's my back. I've got standard bobbin thread in it. See how pretty that is? Not nice? Yeah. So that's how you would do a pot holder. I've made pot holders like that before from scratch. Okay. So you can take that background quilting design and you can also snag, if you've got some software, get a Designs by Juju background pot holder and remove all of the other stuff except for that background quilting and how it's all put together in the hoop and customize it yourself. So you can do that too. So I Sharpie the centers of my hoops all the time. Ooh, thunder. Ooh, let me turn Darla off. We don't need that. I don't need that. Ah, I've got her plugged into a big surge suppressor here underneath the thing. So, okay. Connie says, you found out from Moore's Sewing Center at Road to California that the luminaire has 3 changes that make it quieter. Oh, okay. Rachel, isn't that funny? So Rachel's talking about how I tie the tails on a single needle to pull the new thread through when I'm doing a thread color change. She's done it for years on her multi and never thought about doing it on the single needle. Had a lady, I was showing her, I think I was in Tempe last year, and she said, well, I do that all the time on my serger. I never thought to do it on my single needle. Yeah, well, this has been a lot of fun, you guys. Our time is up. I've really enjoyed stitching with you this morning and visiting with you. I hope you got a lot out of this. You guys, please give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. You never know what we're going to do in our Stitchuation room. But I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow. You guys go sew something. Bye.